Hey, good morning. Just waiting on everybody to get in here. I think there's a couple more that are going to join us, so I'll give them just a minute to get on here. Okay, so like I said yesterday, this is our last and final Zoom. Ta-da! So this is it after we wrap up everything with Section 3 stuff, wrap up with your packet, make sure you guys don't have any questions about anything. I'm almost done with getting grades in for progress reports to get ready to go out. Again, if you're coming in person, you guys will get these put in your hands once you come the week of the 19th. So I'm getting that ready. The only thing I think I don't have in yet is I don't have in last week's chapter 17, 1920s stuff. So I've got to finish getting that graded and done. But for the most part, sorry, I thought I saw Justin trying to get on here. But for the most part, I've got the big stuff in for right now. So anyway, I'm finalizing those grades. Okay. Well, if he jumps in here in a second, I'll get him caught back up. But let's go ahead and jump in, and I want to make sure that you guys don't have any questions before we stop for today. Like I said, this is it. It's our last Zoom until we see each other in person. All right, section 3. For the most part, this is all pretty short and sweet and to the point. And I can't remember if I said this yesterday, that next week, we're not going to Zoom next week. There he is. I saw him trying to get in a minute ago. There we go. Okay. So just a quick reminder about next week. Next week, we start Monday with fall break. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to kind of hit up the pause button a little bit and do some environmental literacy stuff. It's kind of like a school-wide requirement to make sure that we are living up to our school charter and including environmental literacy. So we're going to pump the brakes just a little bit, which it kind of works out for us because I don't want us to get too far ahead before we stop and work on midterm stuff. So anyway, and then next Thursday, you guys are going to work on doing a mini study guide for Great Depression stuff. Everything that we're doing this week, you're going to do a mini study guide on yourself. Because I want to make sure that you're actually getting the stuff that we're talking about this week. And if you're not getting it, then obviously I need to go back and I need to do a lot of reviewing when we come back in person so that we're ready to go, okay? But I am not going to include Great Depression stuff on your midterm. Midterm still is going to stop at 1920s, okay? So just FYI on that one. Okay, all right, so let's knock out section 3 stuff. Let's make sure that you don't have any questions about what is due the next couple of days, today, tomorrow, what's due next week. And we will kind of be able to start fresh whenever we come together the week of the 19th. All right, section 3 stuff, here we go. You've only got 3 questions and a couple of IDs. 18 says, why did Hoover oppose a federal relief program? I don't know that really there's a short way to explain this. The whole concept he goes by is rugged individualism. And you can write rugged individualism if you want to, but only write it if you understand what it's talking about. The idea is that he said, leave everything alone and everything will fix itself. Business and the economy will fix itself, essentially. He said, just, let's not interfere. Let's not use the government to interfere or create any new assistance. Because the idea is if we give out, kind of like what we're experiencing in 2020 with the stimulus checks that everybody received in the spring, he said, if you start giving Americans money and they start relying on it, then maybe they won't go out and get another job. They'll just stay at home and wait for a paycheck to come in. He said, I don't want people to get lazy. I don't want people to quit working. Businesses still need to function. We still have jobs that need to be done. We can't afford for Americans to get lazy and our economy collapse even harder than it is, okay? But unfortunately, I don't think he realized the severity of the situation. I don't think he realized how bad it was going to get. And if he had, I do believe that he would have tried to do something to stop it or slow down, I guess, what was happening. All right, 19 says, what two major strategies did Hoover use to promote economic recovery? So he's only going to do a couple of things, and both of which he does, and all of this is in your Google Slides, and it's in your packet of notes. So just FYI, if you're not getting into the hang of pulling up those Google Slides and going through your notes, you better, because that's exactly what's about to happen once we get together in class. I'm just saying, just FYI. And if you haven't noticed already, that's where the majority of my quiz questions, test questions, and things like that are coming from as well. Just saying. But anyway, so there's two things that he focuses on. And here's what you can put. Hold on. I want to make sure that I tell you both of them. All right, the Emergency Relief and Construction Act. If you want to put the initials, that's fine. Just remember what it stands for. So you could put ERCA, Emergency Relief and Construction Act. Okay. The other one is actually in your IDs. The second answer is the Reconstruction Finance Corps. That's number 22 on your ID sheet. Both of those are trying to give businesses money to offer jobs. It's not giving any kind of direct relief to the people. There are no pensions and paychecks that are going directly to people. He is approving money to go out to businesses and organizations to try and provide jobs, to give people, to earn paychecks, to be able to take care of their needs, okay? All right, number 20. This is a sad part of American history. It's sad but true. What did World War I veterans do to try to get their service bonuses early? Again, it's not a proud moment in American history for sure. World War I veterans or soldiers were told that at the end of the war, they would receive a bonus for fighting during the war. Well, Great Depression hits and everybody really could use that paycheck, and they demand, and I forget what the year is, like I think they weren't supposed to receive it until like the 1940s. And so they are demanding, hey, I need that bonus check now. I need it now. Don't have a job. We're about to lose our house. I got to feed my family. I need it now. And the government's like, hey guys, we don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it to give you. And so we have Douglas MacArthur, who we will talk about during World War II, who brings out active military soldiers to throw tear gas and pull out tanks and pretty much scare these veteran soldiers away. He tries to shoo them away and make them go home because they said, I'm sorry, we don't have it. We don't have the money to give you right now. You're just going to have to go home and we'll give it to you when we have it. So again, nobody likes to watch or listen to the radio. No TV yet, but listen on the radio and read in the newspaper that veteran soldiers have been threatened with tear gas and tanks, you know? So anyway, not a proud moment in American history. But here's what, I'm sorry, that was a long story to tell you what your answer should be. They marched, just put marched on Washington. Marched on Washington and demanded their bonuses. So marched on Washington, that is appropriate enough for your answer. All right, a couple of IDs. Public Works are talking about public service jobs. Public Works is talking about public service jobs. You're doing something to help society. You know, you're helping to build a park or pave a road or build a bridge. Those are all what we call public works jobs. So now I don't remember what I even told you to write. Public service jobs, is that what I said? Maybe. Okay. All right, Reconstruction Finance Corps. Again, this is one of the things that Hoover did push through. Loaned money to businesses. That's what I want you to put. Short, quick, to the point, loaned money to businesses. So again, the president and the Republican Party did not feel like we needed to give direct relief to the people, but they did try to create jobs. Foreclosure. Unfortunately, this is happening a lot. Foreclosure means the bank takes your house back. The bank takes your house back. You can't pay your mortgage. The bank who technically owns your house until you pay off the loan, pretty much kicks you out, or will have the sheriff and the sheriff's department come escort you out and vacate you or evict you. But foreclosure means the bank takes your house back, all right, takes your property. It might be just land, it might not be a house, it might even be a car too. And then bonus army, World War I vets. That's what I want you to put. Bonus army, World War I vets. Okay, so that's IDs. Did anybody miss one? Did I go too fast over one? Anybody need me to repeat anything? You can either say it, thumbs up, something in the chat, anything, throw me a bone.
I'm good.
Anybody else?
What was 18?
13? Wait, there's not a 13.
18.
Did you miss 13 from yesterday?
No, 18.
18, sorry, 18. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I probably didn't summarize that one very well. Why did Hoover oppose a federal relief program? How about this? We can just put didn't want people to get lazy. Didn't want people, or didn't want people to get reliant on the government. That's another way to say it. Anything else? Ashlyn, what about you? Anything?
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Justin, was there another one or was it just 18?
It was just that one.
Okay. All right. Grab your packets. You've got two things left in the packet. You've got your 18-3, and then you've got your reteaching activity, which we might do one or two of, and then you wrap it up and make sure that you get it turned in. But let's go ahead and run through 18-3. Get that done. Make sure nobody has any questions, and be ready to roll on with our day. Okay. All right. Number one says, when President Hoover assured the nation, I've got a fly, I'm sorry, it's aggravating me. When President Hoover assured the nation that the fundamental business of the country is on a sound and prosperous basis, here's what you put as your answer. Friday, October 25th, 1929. Friday, October 25th, 1929. So he says that. He says that we're doing good 4 days before the stock market crashes. Interesting, right? Okay. All right, let's keep rolling. Number two says, when did President Hoover, or what did President Hoover do to devise strategies for improving the economy? Organized business meetings. He wanted to meet with business leaders. So that's what I want you to put. Organized meetings with business leaders. That sounds better. Organized meetings. Organized meetings with business leaders. Okay. All right, 3 says, what did President Hoover increase the funding for to replace jobs lost in the private sector? Public works. Public works. That's what we're going to put. Public works. And again, we've already talked about what public works are. Public works, making a park, fixing a road, fixing a bridge, or building a bridge, you know, whatever it is that you can do to help problem areas or issues for citizens, for the public. So public works projects. Number 4 says, what was President Hoover's fear about deficit spending? And if you don't know what deficit means, deficit is talking about spending more than you have. It's kind of like if I give Blake $20 and I'm like, hey, here's $20, you know, go spend it on whatever. And he goes to the store, he finds a shirt that he likes, but the shirt's $25. So he has to borrow $5 off of Ashland. And so now he has done deficit spending. He spent more than he had and is now in debt and owes money, okay? So that's what deficit spending is talking about. So obviously any president's fear about deficit spending is creating national debt. Write that down. Creating national debt. Now, I don't mean that we didn't have any national debt by that point in time, but it is about to skyrocket because we're going to have to spend way more than we got coming in to try and get us out of this hole that we're in. Alrighty, number 5 says, what was the purpose of the National Credit Corporation, also known as the NCC? Allowed banks to continue lending money or loaning money. Allowed banks, I'm writing this too because I lost my key. Allowed banks to continue, which was not a good idea, allowed banks to continue lending money. Okay. All right, number 6 wants to know why did the Reconstruction Finance Corps fail? Why did it fail? Too little, too late. I mean, that really is the honesty of it. We were already in too deep of a hole for something like this to try and dig us out of it. It was, again, just too little help, too late. Not enough to fix the problem that we're in. Okay. All right, number 7 says, why did President Hoover oppose the federal government's participation in relief programs? Because he thought that you should try to create jobs versus just giving paychecks. Try to create jobs versus, or instead of giving paychecks. All right, last couple of questions. Number 8 says, what was the purpose of the Emergency Relief and Construction Act? Emergency loans given to the states. Emergency loans given to the states. Okay, so emergency loans given to the states, and the states were supposed to do their own public works projects. So let's say the state of North Carolina had really been wanting to work on a highway system, and we just hadn't had the time or money to do it. And it's like, well, hey, we're going to give you the money. We need you to do it because this will create jobs. All right, number 9 says, what caused nearly 1 million farmers to lose their farms between 1930 and 1934? foreclosures. I mean, really, we're just going to put one word because that'll simplify everything. And if you need to know how to spell it, don't forget that's number 23 on your ID sheet. But it's foreclosures. Foreclosures. Unfortunately, farmers were having a rough time. Dust Bowl lost a lot of crops. Overproduction issues or surplus of crops caused problems. People, were the price had to be dropped so they could get rid of it. High tariffs caused countries overseas to not buy from us. So it was a terrible situation for farmers. So a lot of them had to foreclose. They couldn't pay their loans back and the banks repossessed their land. Number 10 says, what did some farmers do to try to raise crop prices? I know you probably think this is crazy, but a lot of them actually destroyed some of their crops. And you're like, wow, why would they do that? Why would they take a bunch of wheat and burn it? Why would they destroy a lot of their crops? Well, think about it. If there is a limited amount of something, you can charge more because it's going to be in high demand. I don't know. What would be a good example? Some common things like milk and bread and things like that are just common household food products. If there ended up being a limited supply of it, the price is going to go up on what stores have. And if you want it, you're going to have to pay it. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people out there that can't afford to pay it and are going to have to go without. But that does mean farmers are going to make a higher profit on it. So, yeah, as crazy as it sounds, a lot of them did destroy crops to cause a limited supply, to cause prices to go up so they could get a bigger paycheck. All right, number 11 says, how did the effort of the Bonus Army end in July of 1932? We talked about that already. Soldier or vets are going to be met with tanks and tear gas when they try to go to Washington. War vets are going to be met by tanks and tear gas. And we know the story ends without them getting, they don't get their check early. And 12, what did President Hoover expand more than any previous president? And it is the government's role in the economy. Government's role in the economy. Okay. All right, so that is it. And all we got left is I'm going to get you started on that reteaching page for you to be able to finish. Does anybody need any of the 1 through 12 repeated or have a question about anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, if nobody has anything, go ahead and flip to it or go to it or whatever. I don't know if you've got it printed or if you're just looking at it online. All right, so it says the stock market crash set off a chain reaction of economic failures that impacted the entire nation. Few government officials, including President Hoover, initially recognized the severity of the depression. Public works projects and relief acts came too late to prevent the tidal wave of business failures and unemployment from devastating the nation. Use the terms below to fill in the missing links in the chain reaction of economic failures that swept the nation, and then write a brief explanation of how they contributed to the start of the Great Depression. All right, so first one, bull market. This was actually part of your IDs. Bull market means the economy, the stock market's doing good, companies are making money. All right, that's when you want to invest, when the stock market's going up. Okay. This enticed buyers to buy on margin and push prices up without regard to value. All right, so I want us to know what's going to happen next, and it's speculation. Mark these off as you go. Speculation goes in blank 2. speculation. All right, and then it wants to know like what is happening with speculation. And here's what we can just summarize. We can just say that people buying low and selling high. People were buying low and selling high. And I'll explain that. I explained it a little bit the other day when we were kind of talking about like Black Friday, like especially if there's like big electronics or video games. And a lot of companies have tried to stop this. Like they limit you, like you can't purchase more than one or two at a time. So the new PlayStation, let's say the new PlayStation, when it hits, it comes out on Black Friday and they say you can't buy but two at a time, and the person buys two so they can go on eBay later and sell them and jack the price up. All right, well, whatever they paid for it, they're probably about to make a lot more because it's the new thing, right? So that's what they're talking about, the stock market. People buying a bunch of stock and selling it for higher than what they paid for it to make a profit. Okay, next is the stock market crash. Stock market crash happens because there's no money backing the stock that people have invested in. Write that down. There's no money backing the stock that has been purchased. There's no money backing the stock that has been purchased. Because again, these stockbrokers, these inside traders, these people that are there watching what's happening, if they invested their own money, they know what's coming, and they're probably going to pull out their own money, the money that's actually there, which will cause everything to collapse. Okay. All right, so what's going to happen because of these, the stock market crashing? Again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's not really the big thing that's going to cause the Great Depression by itself. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going to go with bank runs next. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually throw you a bone, and I'm gonna help you fill in the rest of your blanks, and then you're gonna go back and do the explanations for me. So bank runs are next. People run and withdraw all their money. That's gonna cause the banks to fail. Banks had limited cash on hand and had invested in the stock market. Then the next thing that's going to get people in trouble, number six is installment debt. Just fill in the blank. 4 is bank runs, 6 is installment debt, which means people can't pay, right? If you lose your job, lose your savings, you can't pay your bills. Companies are struggling. That's why number 7 says mass layoffs. Companies have to cut production costs, which will cause them to have to lay off people. And of course, number 8, if you lose your job, you might end up being a hobo, which is a homeless man riding the rails, riding trains from city to city looking for jobs. So again, hobo, homeless man riding the rails looking for a job, probably has a wife and 10 kids that they're trying to feed, and is trying to find a job to send money back home. So I got you started. I got you over halfway. You just got to fill in those last couple of explanations. So there you go. Questions, comments, concerns about anything? No tears, no tears. I know today's our last Zoom. Today's our last virtual face-to-face, if you can call it that, because you guys still refuse to show me your faces, maybe, okay. All right, I got a nice little reminder that says that it's about to cut our meeting off. So Any last questions, comments? If you do, want to show me that you are shedding a tear for our last virtual meeting, that would be fine too. But if you guys don't have anything for me, then you'll have to wait to see this space again the week of the 19th. Nope, nothing.
I'm all good.
Okay. Miss Ashlyn, what about you? Oh, yes. There we go. All righty. Yep. Day made right there. Actually got to see another person. Feels good. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Justin, don't leave me hanging. What else? Questions, comments, concerns? Show me your fabulous face. All the above.
I don't have anything, but
Oh, okay, Blake, you can't leave me hanging. You can't leave me hanging. Come on. There we go. There we go. I don't know why y'all think that's so painful. That is not a painful thing to, not make me feel like a crazy person talking to a blank screen of names. So thanks. All right. I still might trip you in the hallway. I don't know. I hadn't decided yet. We'll see. It might happen. Yeah. Okay. All right. Happy Thursday. Enjoy your long weekend. Enjoy your fall break. And I will see you on the week of the 19th. Bye, guys.